Hello, my name is Anirudh Ganesh and I'm a research assistant at the Persuasive Computing Lab here at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia, Canada. Today, on behalf of myself and my co-authors Chinenye, Ndulue and Rita, Orji, I'll be presenting our paper titled Tailoring a Persuasive Game to Promote Secure Smartphone Behavior. Cybersecurity has always been a topic of interest and there are various facets to this domain. Due to the user's lack of awareness and carelessness, they become the weakest link in the chain of cybersecurity. Smartphones have evolved rapidly over the past 2 decades, but despite this evolution, security vulnerabilities have been carried forward and even exist today. So this motivated us towards designing an intervention to improve user awareness about smartphone privacy and security. For the literature review, we used ACM Digital Library and Google Scholar to search for peer-reviewed research papers. We used specific keywords like smartphone security games or smartphone security awareness and excluded papers that were not related to usable privacy and security. Overall, it was evident that the users were not aware about cybersecurity and were not motivated to protect themselves. Currently, there are various interventions like posters, videos, and games to motivate users to follow security and privacy etiquettes. But for smartphone security, the number of interventions are limited, and recent research shows that there is a lack of user awareness about smartphone security and privacy. To uncover the security and privacy concerns faced by the users while using a smartphone, we searched for Android smartphone privacy and security issues in the papers from the literature review, and we were able to extract 12 common security use cases via a thematic analysis. These are the 12 themes of which we included in our game and will be discussing later as we move on. Persuasive games have been around for a long time, and they have been an effective means for bringing forth a positive behavior change among users. To the best of our knowledge, there are only 2 games and 1 application for improving secure smartphone behavior. Apart from permissions and few other use cases, it's unclear as to what other security and privacy scenarios were covered in these games. This motivated us to design and develop a persuasive game to improve users' secure smartphone behavior. Our game is called Permarun, a 2D side-scroller that includes an interesting and contextual narrative to educate and improve user awareness about smartphone security and privacy. In Permarun, the protagonist goes to the forest for a camping trip with his friends, and their trip is ruined by a troll who invades their camp. The troll happens to be angry with them because humans were the inventors of smartphones. It turns out that the troll was a new smartphone user and a victim of data theft. So the troll kidnaps the protagonist's friends and promises to release them when the player helps the troll by collecting appropriate permissions for apps and helps other jungle creatures with their smartphone issues. We used Unity, Proto.io, and Inkscape for designing and developing the game. We designed the levels according to the level design patterns developed by Khalifa and others. For example, foreshadowing is a design pattern where the player is teased with a game object that is not accessible until a later time in game. This increases the player's curiosity to explore the game further. The Persuasive System Design Framework developed by Ovenas Konan and others breaks down the motivational factors in a digital intervention. For example, rewards is a persuasive strategy which allows a user to earn in-game rewards for their achievements in-game. As for including other security and privacy issues identified from the thematic analysis, we introduced jungle creatures that needed help with their smartphone security and privacy problems. When the players encounter these creatures, they are presented with the security or privacy scenario and 3 options to choose from. Appropriate feedback is provided to the player for choosing the options. For measuring users' baseline awareness level, we leveraged protection motivation theory, which has been used widely in the area of cybersecurity awareness. We leveraged a validated PMT scale developed by Verkichika and others for measuring the baseline awareness level. We also used smartphone security behavior scale, which was specifically developed to measure 2 constructs, namely technical and social. We also developed a permission scenario scale that outlines the basic features of an app and asks the users to select necessary and unnecessary permissions according to an app's features. From the lit review, it was evident that one fit for all approach was not the best, and tailored interventions significantly yielded better results in bringing about a positive behavior change among users. Some of the common tailoring parameters are gamer type, personality, stages of behavior change, and goal setting. We went ahead with regulatory focus theory, a goal setting theory which states that users adopt a predominant way to achieve their goals in their lifetime. The 2 predominant motivational orientations are promotion and prevention focus. People who are promotion focused might be motivated by what they might achieve or gain in the process of reaching their goals, and people who are prevention focused might try to avoid losses and be safe while trying to reach their goals. A regulatory focus questionnaire is used to identify a user's predominant motivational orientation. We tailored our game by editing the quiz feedback according to RFT, thus producing two versions of the game, promotion and prevention focused versions. We also tailored few game mechanics like collecting permissions and movement speed according to RFT. To understand if the tailored version of the game performed better than the non-tailored version, we came up with the 4 research questions as shown on the slide. We decided to go ahead with the 2 cross-2 between subject study with both game versions. This was a pre-post study design, and the players had an option to sign up for an interview. For the pre-study survey, we collected participants' demographic information and used the RFQ to determine the players' predominant motivational orientation. We used PMT, SSBS, and the permission scenario scale for repeated measurement. Apart from the repeated measures, for the post-study survey, we leveraged the intrinsic motivation inventory for measuring player experience. We randomly assigned players to one of the 4 groups to eliminate bias, and a total of 102 participants completed the study, and the group split up is shown on the slide. These are the survey scales that we used for the research questions. To answer RQ1, we conducted a patch sample t-test and found that the game had a significant effect on some of the PMT constructs. All of the values were above the median value of 2.5 except for response cost. This means that the effort required from the users to follow secure smartphone practices is low. For SSBS and permission scenario, there was a significant increase for only some of the constructs as shown in this slide. To answer RQ2, we conducted a 1 sample t-test on the overall results of the IMA responses. It was evident that except for the effort and importance construct, all other t-values were significant. And the values were over the median score of 3.5 except for pressure and tension. This shows that the players did not feel tensed while playing the game. To explore the effectiveness of the game versions across IMI, we conducted an independent sample t-test. It was evident that both the game versions performed similarly without considering players' motivational orientation. To answer RQ3, we conducted an RM ANOVA and found that there was no main effect of the game versions on the dependent variables. This shows that the game versions did not yield groups who perceived and rated the game versions differently overall. To answer RQ4, similar to RQ3, we conducted RM ANOVA with the addition of players' motivational orientation as another between subject factor. There was a main effect of time across some of the constructs as shown in the table without considering the groups. From pairwise comparison, it was evident that there was an increase in values from the pre-study to post-study survey. There was a 3-way interaction between time, game versions, and players' motivational orientation for the security behavior construct, and from the pairwise comparison, it was evident that the tailored versions significantly performed better than the non-tailored versions. We also conducted a 1-way ANOVA and found there was a main effect of the perceived choice construct. From the post-hoc results, it was evident that the tailored versions performed better than the non-tailored version. We also interviewed a total of 25 participants after the post-survey. We conducted a thematic analysis using the affinity diagram method, and a total of 10 themes emerged with few other subthemes. Players who played the tailored version commented about the importance of security and security tips that they tried after playing the game. Players liked the addition of various security and privacy tips in forms of quizzes. They found this as a good break while playing the game. To reflect on the results, previous studies that implemented RFT have shown similar results. The users were persuaded by tailored intervention, and research has shown that players put an effort into games that they prefer. These are some of the key implications from our research. A retro-themed game invokes nostalgia among players, and the game would be relatively easier to learn and play. Tailoring the game according to players' motivational orientation is better than a one-size-fits-all approach. Speaking of limitations, the surveys were self-administered and self-reported by users, and for the choice of game platform, we chose to go ahead with Android phones, and the game covers security and privacy issues only for Android OS. As part of our future work, we plan to run a longitudinal study with 3 points of data collection. Also, existing research has shown relation between smartphone security and mental health. This game could further be tailored as a treatment for specific smartphone issues. From these results, we can conclude that the tailored version of the game was effective in improving users' secure smartphone behavior, and the players preferred the tailored version over the non-tailored version. Our work is a first step towards successfully tailoring a persuasive game for secure smartphone behavior and utilizes validated skills to measure the behavior. This marks the end of the presentation, and these are the references that we have used in the slide. These are some of the related past publications for this work, and we have also published our Persuasive game permanent on Google Play Store. Thanks a lot for your time.